This next exercise is called Rip Van Winkle. It provides a really good opportunity to practice how best to frame new information in a learner-centered way. We want to meet learners where they are instead of where we think they should be. I'd like to invite you all to pair up again. One person in each pair. Would you raise your hand? You know the drill. You're going to be the person from the present. The other person is an intelligent adult who has been asleep since 1776. Now, the person from the present will receive a card listing an item from modern day. Your goal is to explain this aspect of modern society to a Rip Van Winkle. You want to use terms that they are going to understand. It's not a guessing game, so feel free to share that modern day item with your Rip Van Winkle. You're going to have about 3 minutes to explain it to them. What questions do you have? All right, go ahead and begin.
So we're going to describe Uber. Did you have stagecoaches?
Yeah.
Okay. So Uber's kind of like having a stagecoach to be able to come pick you up.
Thank you so much. So I'm curious, those of you that were the Rip Van Winkles, what did you hear about this item from modern day?
Well, I was hearing about something called an Uber, which I was told was you can just summon a stagecoach to your house whenever you need to go anywhere.
Wow, okay. Others?
So Dave was explaining to me about a microwave oven, and I was rather incredulous that in a matter of minutes, your food could be prepared.
So Rachel was explaining to me some sort of communication technique where you write a letter and everybody gets to read it. It's like it's your own personal thought, but you're posting it for everyone to read, which I wasn't really sort of keen on, like writing a letter to the love of my life and posting it in the church.
How many of you, Rips, would want the item that you had? It sounds like, Damon, you're not so sure about.
I don't think that this would help me in any way in my life.
Okay.
I would like it, gosh, if you're spending 8 hours in the kitchen, to make it down to a couple minutes would seem pretty phenomenal.
Absolutely, yeah. And over here, Tim?
Yeah, if I was going to post a love letter in the church, I'd like to be able to call a stagecoach to come to my house and take me to the coach. Because it's a long walk to the church.
How might we apply it to facilitation?
I think you have to know where the person's coming from. And
Which person?
The learner. And because sometimes we don't even realize that we go on and use words or acronyms that they may not be familiar with. You really need to know your audience and have an understanding of their perspective.
Do you mind my asking, how did you gauge Tim's experience and perspective before going into describing something like Uber?
The first question I asked was, before trying to even explain stagecoach, were stagecoaches available when you went to sleep? So trying to find a common ground.
And I would echo that. I mean, Rachel asked me, how do you communicate in your time? And I'm like, well, we talk, but I guess we write letters. So just sort of meeting me where I was at and looking at something that you could relate to, because a lot of times we're trying to explain things, and if we don't have an understanding of what we're trying to explain, it's going to make it difficult for that learner to know or sort of buy in their understanding.
Yeah, and I think that there's an opportunity, which I'm going to try next time, to tie it to what's important to them, like what they care about, as opposed to trying to feed the information.
So say a little bit more about what that might sound like next time you try it.
So if I have Twitter, I would maybe say to Damon, so can you think of something that you would want everybody to know? What's a piece of information that you'd be proud of or excited about or would like to share with people?
Like fire in the town square,
or we're having a baby, or we bought a house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So then I would try to tie it back to that and explain to him how he could use Twitter for that.
Nice. So really tying it to what he identifies as most beneficial, what matters most to him. Our colleagues don't need to know all the data supporting a particular communication skill or the theories on what makes a particular skill effective. What matters most is that we outline the skills clearly and focus on how the skills can align with the core values of our learners. And we want to do this whenever possible.